Welcome everybody, good evening to all of you, to all the fans of Martin TFWong, to the public who's just joined me here. Tonight we have a very special topic, definitely about the stock market. And there's a lot of letters I've been getting, is the market's going to crash? There's so much people saying it's overvalued, is it time to invest? So definitely we will break it down for you, including the general election 15 impact, because a lot been said about the parliament going to resume back, but we're not going to see that until at least the first week of August when parliament resume. And right now we still have another 5 more months, or August is another 4 more months before we resume the parliament. And when the parliament starts, should it start at that time, what is going to be the impact to the stock market from a general election 15? We have known also the Perikatan and parties in here are not talking to each other. How is going to impact? Definitely going to bring you that update too. All right, so let's move on. Okay, for those of you who are listening for the first time, just type 1. So I want to make sure that you guys are well taken care of for the first time inside here. If you're first time, just type 1, also very important. And do join our Telegram chat room here for free stock market information that we've been providing since we started founding this company right now in here. Of course, definitely don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in here. And all our posting, imagine if you're busy, don't have time because you have to take care to your personal needs, go over to the tradevsa.com YouTube and subscribe, and you'll get notification. On the top left hand side here, you could see is the QR code in here. Make it convenient for you to be able to subscribe, and do subscribe to our Trade VSA, and not to miss out. Even tonight, this video will be uploaded in here so you can catch it and watch it again. All right, and of course our flagship product, which is the SmartRobie, continue to improve. And those of you who are first time in here, have not used it before, do come in and check it out and download the Google Play Store, so you'll be updated continuously on the updates that we have in the market, and able to find the right timing, trading smarter every time in here. Okay, and of course tonight, as I said before, don't forget to join us. No, don't go off too soon yet, because we're going to update you on the live US trading from the 31st of March, plus a free US market accounts opening. That's right, a free accounts opening. So we're going to point you to the right information in here that will tell you and close that trade probably for a profit tonight. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that in here. And for the most of it, what we're trying to do is also try to help some of the public in here. And now we are giving any participant of you who's going to share how is their performance of their portfolio so far. All right, your performance of your portfolio so far for the last 3 months in here. There's a post in SmartRobie in here, and for the best reply, again, we'll incentivize you with 300 credit points. So go over to fb.com SmartRobie. There is a pin post inside there, and share with me how well have your portfolio been so far from January to March 2021. And we would like to know your comment and what you think with your portfolio, and what is the best way moving forward. All right, take that note too. And of course, again and again in our breakfast show, continue to flash the portfolio trading return strategy in here. And last year 2020, on our back testing portfolio, we have achieved 106% so far on that side of it. And some of you, I think Hari, who is following that plan, one of our masterclass students, has done pretty well so far. And right now we are up 10.3%. That's right, 10.3% in here for a portfolio of 31,000. So if you look at this portfolio for the 31,000, those are the trades that we have. We have MC Main. The Southern Steel has started to move. We all know that the steel currently is making move, and just now on the Bloomberg you could also see, I think aluminium, zinc, they all gone up by 4%. So tomorrow some of the counter like Anju, all the steel, press metal, semua akan jalan punya. And guess what? Southern Steel is one of the stocks we actually picked from February, and we had it for 2 months in here. And remember the fixed strategy, those of you who came last weekend on our trading view for technical analysis, we have given you those rules, and this is the same rule that we gave out. And you can see right there on top of that the amount that we invested. We break it down to 4 trades. Remember, you still remember not 31,000 or 35,000. For this one, it's 31,000 in here. You can see it. We break it up to, then we still have unrealized profit of 1,400. The only one that is sort of stuck is still MYEG. And guess what? It did not hit the ATR stop loss. Those of you who understand our fixed rules, do use this as a portfolio. If not, you can join us this weekend, and definitely we will do the monitoring and the coaching. So that is giving us the 10% return that you need. Hey, this is definitely better than fixed deposit, isn't it? And definitely better than a lot of returns. And guess what? It is a no-brainer. Why? Because we're using the turtle trading model in here. We still have a cash balance of 2,000 ringgit. We probably just leave it aside in here. Right now, we have about 30,900 ringgit in the market with 4 trades from M-Cement, MYEG, Southern Steel, and VS. You can check that out also on the Pentagon Guider. We are still holding that trade inside here. There is a website. Definitely you can go over to, let me just move this. So those of you who want to know more information, you can go to the QR code and check it out. Let me just pull this a bit upside here. And that's right. That's a QR code on top of you in here. You're able to scan it and there are more information here. If not, do come for our main course, which we'll be doing this weekend to review more about that. All right. So we got a few new people joining us. Thank you for coming. Okay. Now let's move on to, that's how we got here. And definitely in our breakfast show, some leaderboard in our past immediate trade. In here, we captured from December onwards, January, KGB, revenue, Great Tech, and Great Tech started to move. Frontcan, Penta, DNO made new high, and many of these stocks, which is around, and also a recent one, My News. Those of you catch it, we also pick it up in our trade idea there. So plenty of goodies. If you can't find it elsewhere in other blogger from other software, find it in SmartRobie. That's all. And do join us for our breakfast show every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10:15. All right. Also, let's get down to the meat of what we're talking about here. Now, this story first came in is about from this newspaper talk about can general election spark a market rally? What do you think? Type it in there. Give me what you think. Can a general election in this context will be general election 15? Can it spark up a market rally? What do all of you think about it in here? All right, do let us know what you think about this. Can a general election, because I'm going to go a bit studying it because it's important. Once you go through all this like this information in here, you have nothing to fear when they're going to announce, especially after September, when is the election is, because then you will know how to look at the market, which sector to look in, when to time, when to schedule, and all this thing will be covered. What do you think? Will a general election spark a market rally? Put in your comment in there. I'd love to hear what you think about it in here. But let me just put it to you for those of you who tend to stay a bit back and because of busy. And I would look at it in here. Now, if you look from the research that was done by MIDF Research, they do have a baseline of 1700. Our market this Friday, just market close about 5 o'clock just now, we hit 1602. If what it says there is true by MIDF, 1700, so we got another 100 points to reach, right? The stronger performance are actually based on what? The banking stock and also on the glove stocks in here. So remember, as of February 26, the bank represents 33% of the KLCI index and glove is about 10%. So in order this to move, we have to see the banking stock moving. So with all the vaccine recovery that we are seeing, and the bank, and also remember, when property do well, people buy property, they would take loans out from the bank, right? They're able to repay, more jobs are created, and that way banks will do well. And also foreign fund flow, take note of it, it's important for the index in here. Without foreign fund flow, FSCL cannot move. So this is the gist of what I want to share with you this evening in here. And meanwhile, this just came in couple of 2 hours ago about foreign fund. Again, they are coming, and they are buying up Top Glove. Now, how many of you are still having Top Glove like me, Supermax and all this, or you have not got it yet, you want to buy some more? This is maybe a good time after this sell-off. Now, this article, you can check it out in Bloomberg. Simply talk about the coincidence that the markets went through sell-off, and those of you who have came to our masterclass will understand there's always a washout before the major move. And guess what? So when all investors started to give up on rubber glove, suddenly market turned green Pentagon. And what Hari said there, it's certainly one of the best thing in here. Check it out. Top Glove right now on our trading view already turned green Pentagon, and so did Harta Lega. Harta Lega turned yesterday. All right. So all the stocks are now, you think very, very carefully what I've just said. First, you have foreign funds coming to buy the rubber glove, which represent 10% in here. We just hit a new high, 1602. What does that tell you? So you can put the clue 1 to 1, then you will know something. And these are the things I usually want to share with all my audience in here. So the market, when you listen to me, look at the macroeconomics indicator, you will know some of these news that you see here. It's no longer a big mystery in here. And also tonight, with a special feature I'm going to share with you that will make you even a much better and more proficient trader or investor, if that is what you wanted to do. All right, so let's take a look at all this information that we have for you right now. So of course, in the midst of it, we still have a headwind, which means we are still a lot of resistance, right, for the Bursa Malaysia with the recovery. And this was a very good article written by Ms. Yap with input from my old Sifu, my research Sifu, Mr. Pong in here. And he said about, at the end of it, to really get the market going higher, to really recover, we need to have the minyak mentah. What that means? Crude oil. Now, crude oil, they are saying, Mr. Pong here are saying that crude oil will hit $100 maybe in 2 years time. Now you all know, right, the whole gist of our economy really runs on the crude oil, because this is an important information. Now listen very carefully what I just said, right? The crude oil, when the crude oil tapered off, because I'm going to show you one very important information. When that crude oil price dropped, that correlated to our stock market in here. And there is a particular year in here, and everything ties up very nicely. So why I'm giving you the little small points, so by the time you listen to that slide, it's important in here. So in this same article, also thinking the last time crude oil hit $100 was 2008. Now take note, take note. CPO last time hit 4,000 ringgit was also 2008. 2008. Okay, but we just hit it recently, but it came back up with about 3,500. So is there a coincidence between the CPO prices, the crude oil, what we saw in 2008, now it's 2020, almost 12 years later, crude oil hit another. How much do we hit? Here is the chart up here. So crude oil finally hit $60 before hitting 66. So at the end of it, crude oil hit $66 from a low of $18. That was way back, way back at the COVID-19 in here. But what we have seen right now is a good trend since October and December, because the vaccine rollout first was announced when? You all remember when the vaccine was announced? Let me just show you in here. Okay, let me just bring up my laser pointer. It was actually announced here in November. That's right, in November, when Pfizer, BioNTech, they rolled that out. That was when the market propelled. Of course, now you have Johnson & Johnson, you have Moderna. Tonight, they're going to be announcing something about the AstraZeneca, which have a lot of issues of the clotting one. But no doubt, more vaccine rollout. And Malaysia, we are getting COVAX, we are getting also the Sinopharma. So all this will translate to better market uprising. And also because when you have a lot of COVID cases coming down, then the likelihood of the travel industry resume. And when the travel industry, airplanes, cars, ship, okay, that means crude oil consumption will go up. So it doesn't take a lot of genius to figure out. Do you like what I've seen so far? If you like to see so far, give me a thumbs up, because that's what I'm trying to break down for you tonight in here. All right, the crude oil in. So also not to forget is the important foreign funds. Remember the foreign funds. Now you notice foreign funds tend to hit a high on the low side, means they sell high. The last time they hit the high was minus 300 million, means there was a outflow of 300 million. And also just last week we hit another time 330 million. So when they sell off, they'll come back and buy back quickly. You can see here there was a sell off here, they come back. There was a sell off here, they come back. There was a sell off here, come back. Then there was a sell here, they come back. Then now you have another sell off. Will they come back? Because the earlier news I shared with you, right? The Top Glove, the Supermax, they're coming to buy back, and we pick it up already on the news. But on the foreign fund flows, you could see on the chart, again, those of you who have the subscription to the Trade VSA plugin in here, those of you interested, and you will get it as part of the masterclass in here. And do join our 3-day workshop this weekend, which is pinned on the comment there. You'll find more information about this. So that is one of the great tools that we have able to know foreign funds coming in here. Now remember, the foreign funds start selling on March 21st because of local geopolitical situation. As it settles, more and more are coming back in here, and that's why we see that. So we can piece all the clue together. One, the foreign funds are coming back. We have the foreign funds are buying the glove stocks, all prices moving up here, and then we will see likely a market moving up. All right. So this is again the KLCI leading indicator, so take note of that one. All right, so also let's move on to next. What we have is our market. Now this evening, just now, the market closes 21.1.4% in here, just touching 1600. And that's important. What we need to do eventually is to break this level here, the 1620. Of course, we still need to wait for the green Pentagon and waiting for the blue trend zone to come. It's sort of, up and down, up and down. We don't see much of a trend in here. And let's hope the rubber glove continue of buying and the settling of the US border. Of course, if you have been following me a fair bit and a bit of the newspaper, many analysts are saying the rubber glove sector right now is undervalued. And how do we know that? All you got to do is just go on to SmartRobie, look at the fundamentals tonight in here, and you will see all those in here. It doesn't take so much. All right. So right now the market is trending sideways, and bull may not be back in town yet. So we just have to wait for it. All right. So that's the message. It's important that I share this to you in here. And also let's look at the sector, the hot sector right now. Now the hot sector right now is definitely property, which we talk about in here as economic recovery. More and more people are buying homes. The tech stocks are coming back. You can see the tech stocks in here. Now the little what we call lighter green here is last week. This one is this week. You can see the property sector really jalan, the technology jalan also. Then you have the REITs same as property, real property investment tax. But the construction came from last week to this week. Industrial product kind of stagnant in here, consumer. But I do think the far out, you can see this one is the healthcare, right? I think coming to Monday and Tuesday, this one show jalan. So ensure you get the latest update from our Trade VSA package, and this tool will be available for you, those of you who sign up for our package in here. All right, let's move on to the US side. Now in the US side in here, and I have already updated those of you who came for our breakfast show about the green energy or the infrastructure policies, which is introduced by Joe Biden in here, and it is going to cost the American taxpayer money $3 trillion. That's a lot of money, but that itself already been priced in. You could see green Pentagon hits in on the 28th of March. So do take note, ladies and gentlemen. Green Pentagon already masuk. So hopefully Malaysia comes in. And no doubt you can see US continue to hit new high. And again, many reasons people are talking about it. But I will make it very clear to you tonight so you will able to understand it without a benefit of a doubt. Now, like it or not, Joe Biden may not be the most interesting president, but he is the one that can perform. Do I say this correct or not? Right, if I say this correct, give me a thumbs up in here, because I think a very good implementer, executor of the projects is important. And that's why we see Joe Biden continue to outperform with the COVID rollout, the infrastructure rollout, and that is benefiting the entire world, including KLCI market, right? So that is also important going forward in here. All right, so I hope you like it so far. Is the pace is okay? If the pace of my presentation is okay, just type 4, so I do know my pace is definitely doing fine for you guys. All right, also this as always the question goes back to the US currently have 23.5 trillion. How can they afford the coronavirus as well as the 3 trillion train in here? Now this is the reason why is what people has been talking about. So much money is being printed. That's what they're talking about, the quantitative easing. Where do they get the kind of money? So again, all this money that is coming out, even the last stimulus that came out, a lot of people were talking about for the US $1,400 US that been given to family. People are using it to buy Bitcoin. So we have this Bitcoin bubble that we've seen in here, and check out some of the older presentation. And also this weekend I will update for our fellow members for the masterclass on Bitcoin latest development here and how you can participate before Bitcoin break through the 60,000 US dollar in there. We're already in much earlier. Now we're trying to, sit in the bus first or sit in the train first before the train start to move out. You understand what I'm talking about? So there's a lot of this talk about being bubble, and I want to break it down to you to ensure that you are not left off with the types of information that I'm going to be presenting to you in here. All right. So when it comes to market bubble in here, definitely this very, very famous movie and this very, very famous person, Michael Burry. Okay, Michael Burry is this gentleman in here, played by Christian Bale. It's called The Big Short. All right, this story talked about in 2008 about the what we call the subprime loan, and he shorted it. This is this guy created by Christian. He's also the Batman lah. But this is a real person here, Michael Burry. Do you know Michael Burry is actually a surgeon, a neurosurgeon, very, very smart guy. So you can see in this movie in here, played by even Brad Pitt is this guy in here. So go and watch it, all right? If not, you can look it up in YouTube. It's a very interesting movie. Talk about this group of Goldman Sachs fellas who work, right, and are able to short. And they made a lot of money in 2008, and that's how Michael Burry got it. And he's known as the market bubble crash guru. So he always talk about this thing in here. And let's take a look at some of the factors that he said that likely to have a market bubble. All right. So what he said that no one is listening to him right now, and that was on February 21st because everyone is a buyer on the stock. What do you think? Do you think the market is going to bust or not? All right. So give me your comment in here. I'd love to hear it, what you think about it, and let's go on to it. Now, from the standpoint when we're looking at US, let's come back to Malaysia, to Bursa Malaysia. What does that mean really? US fall, would that impact us or not? So definitely the question we have in top of our mind, are the KLCI heading for more market boom like I just said with the GE15, you got the foreign funds coming in here, or is it going to crash like the US market? So what is it? So let's look at the US. So like it or not, fact number 2, all right, the KLCI gets its direction from the US market, mainly from the US Dow Jones in here. Now, this is the point I'm going to talk about in here, all right? Now, this is the chart that basically talk about where we study the correlation between the US, the Dow Jones, and the KLCI, right? The Dow Jones is the one in the blue color or turquoise. The KLCI is the one in the yellow. If you notice, let me just bring this up again. The Dow Jones has been steadily going up. If you look at it, Dow Jones came from a minus 40% all the way to 140%. If you look at the KLCI, started at 0, came down to minus 30%. Left-hand side, the left-hand side, okay, the left-hand side one is the KLCI, the right-hand side one is the Dow Jones. It went down to 40%. Of course, that was the global financial crisis in 2008. Similarly, they also fell. And then when it rises up to 40%. But this bugger went down from 40%, also went up even higher, all right? But my point here was that critical point, what we call the divergence. So notice a close relationship between the two indices, between the Dow Jones and the KLCI until what year? 2018. Now until 2018, this is 2 points where the divergence which was seen from the crude oil, when crude oil could not hit any higher, then you see the yellow line here started to taper off. This was the 2020 taper off that you see in here. This is where we are, okay? And since then, the market has recovered. You can see the Dow Jones, which is the blue one, rifle up, but the KLCI has a gap. You can see the KLCI is right here, but the Dow Jones is up here. You see that one? So who's going to play what? Is the KLCI going to move up to catch up to the Dow Jones, or the Dow Jones going to come back down? There's always this what we call cat and mouse game. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Give me what you think. So it's important when we see if there is a part or a point where the gaps could be closed between the Dow Jones and the KLCI, that means our KLCI will eventually break above the 1620. So on the premise of foreign fund coming in, we got the recovery on the rubber glove stocks. We have the banking stock recovering inside there. Then we have a point. But again, the big brother important. But very importantly, we want to establish a baseline that our KLCI cannot fall further. That is the first clarity. I want to make it very, very clear to all of you that we cannot have this so-called mistake that the market's going to buy, because some of you eventually may want to break your fixed deposit and buy some good quality shares, or you want to trade, whatever the case is, using the SmartRobie tools, or even come to using the fixed rules from the masterclass, or what we call the portfolio trading strategy. Whichever the case is, you must know these facts so you are able to put your money at the right time, at the right place in here. All right, so let's look at the point number one when it comes to pre-market crash, again from a US standpoint in here. Number one, okay. Now if you look back to 2008, okay, 2008 to very similar condition. Now this is the condition number one, that we think there's going to be a market crash, because we are looking back to what Michael Burry is saying, right? He's the guru of market crash. So what he's saying, look, 2008 we have the confidence level, right, coming down, okay, then the market collapsed for the S&P. The S&P is this side here. The market confidence were around 90% and hit about 95%, then plummeted to 50%, right? So there is a very, very similar situation. Point number one. Now point number two is also in the US market. Another pre-market crash sign is the US household debt to GDP. In 2008, you could see here it's almost 95%. Do you know what is Malaysia household debt of GDP, anybody? We are worse than them, man. We are about 88-90%. Very, very high debt rate. But again, most of our debts are locally owned, and most people in Malaysia, they hold on to their houses. They don't, sell for that one. So right now, the US household debt is rising to a pre-2008 global financial crisis level. So that is the sign number two that we're going to have an imminent crash. And sign number three is the short-term credit card, all right? So you can see in 2008, a lot of people were relying on credit card. But because this time, 2020, credit card usage are a lot. People are out of work. So what they do is that they collect credit card, they max out their credit cards. So when they max out their credit card, they defer payment. And that's what is happening right now in here. Will this deferment of the credit card payment impact the stock market? What do you think? Right? Think about it, because these are the 3 points that support the pre-market crash. After all, we want to know if there is a crash coming from the US side, which in turn impact the KLCI. We want to stay out. If it's not, we're probably going to hold on to here. Okay, let's look at the supporting fact for a market boom. Okay, let's look at the supporting fact for a market boom in here. Definitely is the average US houses price continue to increase right now from 2009. Even though we have a dip, this was the dip for the, what was that? The COVID-19. That's right, we had a dip, but average market houses price are going up. So that means, and then number five, also you have this 2019 here, the big dip, and the number of units, the number of thousands of units. So that's about 1.5 million here. When you hit about 1,500, that's about 1.5 million here. It actually dips, but right now, a lot of houses, as the COVID started to do more vaccination being rolled out in here, we are seeing more houses being hit. So that's point number five in here. All right. Of course, more importantly, what we want to look at is the ISM indicator. Now, ISM indicator basically talks about the demand for factory products, and anything which you see on the red line here, anything above 50, it's expansion. So you can see for the first time it took out the old here that you can see almost 60 in here. So that's why the market now, it's really moving up. And partly this is one of the reasons why the factories are really churning out a lot of products, because a lot of Americans are really buying a lot more thing in here. All right. So, and the last but not is the watch out sign in here is the treasury yield curve. I know many of this may be new to you, but try to bear with me, because I will always continue to report this, that you're aware of them. And the US yield curve started to invert from a long term to a short term, which means you can see this gap here started to move up. So when it does move up, that means we will see likelihood of a market crash. But if it diverts like that, then we'll see a continuation of a market boom. So those are the shorter terms indicator we look at it, because once you have this, we coincide with the market peak. So from a chart wise, from a Pentagon wise, we are seeing continual uptrend. On the macroeconomic indicator, Many of this does not point to it. So what is the answer? Of course, I will make it very, very easy for you, for all of you in here. You've been my great audience in here. I really thank you for coming tonight. And if you can, do share this in your timeline. The answer is, it is a market boom. Now, just today or yesterday, the big short trader Michael Burry quit his Twitter because he been telling all his fans, market gonna crash. Market gonna crash. Market gonna crash since February, or maybe more than about a year. And guess what? He finally decided maybe paise. Paise don't want to do that. All right. So check it out in here, and it's a very interesting development. Now let's turn our attention right now to the past election that we have, GE 12, 13, 14, and 15. So if you like what I've just said, do share and do give me a thumbs up while I get a sip of water. All right, so we're going to be reviewing with the KLCI past election starting from 2008, because that was the time frame where we have modern elections. All right, and let's go on here. So let's pay our attention to the first GE 12. Okay, first GE 12, since the first one is 2008. It was held on 8th of March. Do take note, remember, most elections are held on March or May every year. So we can't do much, isn't it? The earliest we do much is next year. GE15. So if you look at this, and I want to get it, the pre-GE 12, the KLCI went up 20%, right? And then after the GE 12, we went through the global financial crisis, which we were talking about the US in here. So if you look here on the shaded, okay, the shaded light green there, that was when the market went up 20%. All right. So let's move on to the next one, GE13, 5th of May 2013. Again, we have the market went up to 23% and touching just short of the new record high 1900. We went up to 18885. Okay. So at that time, the KLCI was up 23%. Right, after the 23%, Malaysia went through a GDP boom on infrastructure spending, because at that time Najib came in and we won. Of course, there was a lot of MDB behind the background, right? The market actually went up. We hit then before 2018, which is the next GE14. So the GE14 was again held on May. So now you know, right? March or May only. That's all we ever been doing all this, March or May. So what happened? Before the election on the 9th of May 2018, the market went up by 8%, all again touching just short of 1900. All right, but after the post GE14, we have a new opposition government. We know the Pakatan Harapan, but shortly in year 2020, in March last year, we saw the coalition collapse because of a lot of the politicians leaping on, and we have a new government called Perikatan Nasional headed by Muhyiddin. So on that premise, where are we right now? So we are at 1602. So there's two scenarios, scenario A, scenario B. All right, so let's look at it. So scenario A and B we'll discuss. In GE15, is it going to be in December 2021, March 2022, or May 2022? What do you think out there? Give me your answers. I'd like to know also, what do you think of this? Because remember, once you sort of know either it's March, May, or December, then you time it 6 months to right now. This is where the market will start to move. Now, if the earliest that we will get December 2021, but I doubt it lah. It's going to be more like March 2022. So right now we almost have 1 year. So the market will start to creep up because a lot of those shares tied up. Okay, good. We got some of you saying March 2022. All right. Let me hear what you think about that. Then we will definitely see this continue to creep up where we are heading for. All right. So the scenario I'm trying to boom in is that, will we have a post GE15? This is my speculation. This is my hope. The Malaysia boom will bank on China relationship, our China relationship, because China currently is our largest trading partner. And you know, China has been coming in. Even the project, the ECRL, is going ahead. That's right. ECRL project is going to go ahead in there. And what do you think? Well, how much will the KLCI go up? Right? We saw how many percent? GE12, 20%. GE13, 23%. And GE14, 8%. So take a photo of this and pin it into your wall together with my picture. Then you'll remember I've said this on the April 2021 where we are going, because we're trying to do some sort of, here, A or B. Now, if you think A is going to go up, what is your prediction? How many percent are going to go up? If you think it's going to go down, B, how many? But very likely, very, very likely, I'm going to say here is we're going to see B being a post GE15. Again, is that temporary of the boom on the China relationship, or we will see it go up? And if it's going to go up, what will be the answer? Type it in there. How much do you think it's going to be? Just type A dash how many percent, A dash how many percent, and let's have a bit of fun too, right? It's no point. I like to do this kind of fun scenario case planning, because maybe that's how I've been trained in the business school. All right, we have some hurry. Seen A, 20%. Good. All right, some of you saying, if we have 20% from 1600, 20%, 1600, 100 points. Okay, very simple. Let's do our maths here. Okay, 20%, 1.2 times 1600. So, can you see that? What am I showing you in here? 1920. Wow, 40%, Mr. Some of you can get A. So can we go up to 1920? Now remember earlier on I did share with you MIDF research. They say you'll hit 1700. That did take into the account of the GE15, isn't it? So 10%, it doesn't matter. If 10%, we are at least 1760. All right. So this information, as I pen out and explain to you, you have less fear of the market, less challenged by the market volatility, and you stay on course, on timing, just like you home in, like one of those eagle flying, looking for the prey, you home in. And that's very important too, depending where you are. Like Alice say here, too high, correct? Possible, all right? Because remember the old high, what was our old high we had? 1900, isn't it? So maybe 1920, we won't hit that. Again, if we do hit that, we will probably see another catalyst that even right now, we did not speculate or even forecast. My job in many ways is try to tell you where the market is likely to be going with the tools that you have with SmartRobie, and those of you who have the education in here, like Hari who joined us in here, and some of you may have joined us later in the future. And these are the tools that is going to get you there. When the market go higher, the question is, will you ride it together with it, or would you still, like many people, want to wait for the crash first, then you start to buy? Maybe they will buy after the crash, after GE15 crash, or they buy after the market went higher and they buy. So please do not be a fool. Follow those evidence that are presented to you, and I believe this information come handy and come freely to you. All right. So let's move on to our local Bursa Malaysia selected shares, and this was the presentation I did on the 24th of March, my last presentation in here. We talk of many of these sectors: tech stock, industrial, energy, finance, property, construction, right? They all has moved up. Now we want to capitalize on that. How do we do that? So I'm going to introduce right now a new feature on SmartRobie. Some of you may know it, some of you don't know, and this is very exciting, and through our development in our software. Thank you for those of you who've been supporting us, and those of you who have purchased some of the SmartRobie credits, and some of you who have shared with your friends. We really appreciate in here. But right now we are trying to get more people to use it, so I'm going to switch to a chart in here, and you can see me on the right hand side here is the SmartRobie charts that we're going to have, and also on my left hand side here, please do review us on Google, my Google store in here. Use the QR code. We really appreciate you for reviewing us, for the kinds of presentations we have done, the kind of service and work that we are doing. They're able to put you in the right position. But right now, I want to talk about the hot sector in here. And to use the hot sector, I think some of you already know, you hit the SmartRobie chart in here, right? And right at the bottom in here, okay, just over here, okay, you will see there is a menu. And so some of you bring up your SmartRobie and let's do it together. All right, shall we? I'll just wait for just a couple of seconds in here while you bring out SmartRobie. If you all have your SmartRobie with you, just type Robie. Will you do that? So I want to make sure I want to run this together like a tutorial with you, that you're able to pick it up. You can see at the right at the bottom there, the far right hand corner. Can you see that? Okay, so if you can, just put up your SmartRobie in here. We'll do it together. All right, so you hit the hot sector, and right now on the hot sector, okay, there you go. So you have 5 hot sectors. Property, okay, property, technology, REITs, construction and industry. Of course, you can also see those charts hit the right at the bottom there, and we have the this is a more basic chart. It's provided on the SmartRobie. The one that you see that I had it earlier on, the changes between the week, that is for our trade VSA package in here. So we can turn that off in here. So right here you have property, technology and REITs and construction. Now I'm going to ask all of you, which one do you like from item number 1, okay, item 1 to item 5, which one do you like? Just type it in there. All right, and let's go through this. Some of the hot sectors for the 6th of April. Of course, this will get updated once the market close. 10 something in here. Okay, while you guys tell me what sector would you all like. Okay, type it in there. Meanwhile, I will check the US market because we're going to open up the US market and we're going to be looking at the trading right after this. Okay, let's look at the market. Just type inside there you like item 2, item 3, and go ahead and type it in there. Okay, and great, everybody like number 1 or number 2. Okay, which good to know. Okay, yeah, because usually we always get this. The case is, okay, let's see, where is my stock doing? My stock is still somewhere there. We will show you this one after this. Okay, and we're going to do that trading too in here. All right, some like 2, some like 3. So hit number 2, hit on number 2 there. Okay, hit on number 2 here. Okay, hit it, and you can see. So once you hit that one, you can see these are the stock. Of course, the first thing that comes in mind, you will up there, is this updated daily? It is updated. So SmartRobie has an algorithm to pick all this up. Now, like it or not all of these are buy and sell signals. Okay, so you need to take a look at them and look at the what we call the green Pentagon and the red Pentagon in here, right? So here, first thing we want to see is UWC. It's a green Pentagon. Unfortunately, somehow the green the emoji did not come out, so that's 85% in here. So UWC does looks very good. Hong Seng, JHM, so all the tech stocks are moving up inside here. So the question I always get is, where is the good time? Of course, the good time is buying just after the green Pentagon. But if you miss it, there's some of you in here, always look for everything that is being bullish. Look for the lowest rating, because once it hit about 90%, it's full rating already. It's like move very, very fast already, up there already. So chronological, like bullish rating, Excel Force, VIS. Let's look at VIS 0128. Again, click on 0128 and hit stock comment. Do it together with me, okay? So tonight you have time, when this thing is all over, just go ahead and practice it and see what kind of stocks that you have. And this is a very nice one. You can see right now, let me just pinch it up slightly here, right? And you can see this is nicely holding up at a nice support level. We haven't seen this breakout yet, and this is WIS. Of course, you can always check out the fundamental behind that in here. Some of those already move are great tech. Right, I think I talked about it on today's morning breakfast show. I talked about the others, DNO, I think the week before in here. So those of you who follow me on the breakfast show, you know. But those of you who misses out, who still want to go in and use the trading plan in here, build your goal, whatever the case is. If you like technology, if you don't like technology, just go back to property and you can go back up. Let's look at another one, which is UWC. Okay, number 1. So click on 5293, that button. Okay. And you can see 5293 in here and hit the stock comment and chart. This one is already started to make a move. Okay, UWC in here. We have, let's see, this was an uptrust, but there's no follow through down. Let's look at the UWC stock live stock price tonight. It's up 0.8%. Maybe still can. Follow the trading man, and those of you who have known the right trade setup and things like that, go ahead and do that one. But there's one very interesting one I want to share with you. I find it D and O. Okay, now this is a very intelligent of SmartRobie able to do that, because it actually does the back testing for you. Let me just click that on D and O. I found out my SmartRobie is smarter than than I am. Okay, so you look at the stock comment and charts. Okay, now if you look at this one here, DNO is 5.9% up, okay, since the last Pentagon in here. But there's another one I noticed. I can't find it in here. Apparently, SmartRobie does backtesting for you. Some of those that you can find 100% win rates on green Pentagon. Try to do those trades, okay? Because what it does is every time there's a green Pentagon, they find it they will win with some returns in there. Try to do those trades. I couldn't get it. I thought it was DNO, okay? So DNO is also breaking up higher. I think today broke a bit higher. KGB are in there too. So many of those stocks are in here. Let's go back and look for another one. Here, solution is mid cap. Depending on what kind of price you all want to look at, try to buy somewhere between mid cap. JHM 0127, and look at the stock comment and stock chart. Okay, this is quite nice. You can see JHM after falling, you can see on the chart on this side here, after falling, the red Pentagon drop all the way. The timing was just perfect. All right, the timing was just perfect. 28th of March that started to go up in here. Again, after that we're gonna look at, and they're very similar also to Apple. Later on when we do the US market trading, you can see many of our chart base actually tie back to the US in here, so you're able to buy more confidently for that one in here. All right, so this is something we find very good for those of you who is going to do it tonight, and those of you who came tonight definitely will benefit from him. Okay, now let's look at another sector here. I think some of you will like it. Those more senior investor are item number 3. Okay, shall we do item number 3? So type it in there, item number 3. Just touch it, the screen, item number 3. Okay. Okay, item number 3. So let's wait it for a bit because most of you guys are hitting it right now. So I'm going to get a peek there. Okay, we will wait for it to come over. Because a lot of process is running right now. Okay. All right. If you're not, just wait it for meanwhile, while you're waiting, if you can, you see on this side of the chart, do go over to Google review and review us if you're not done. So those of you who have done, thank you very much inside here. It looks like many of you guys are hitting it. Oh, I can just type it in there, RITS. Hit that one. All right. It looks like there is a lot of traffic. So there is a lot of traffic. So you have to wait for it to come over. If not, we can do it a bit later, right? We try to distribute over the time. It's just that when I ask everybody to do it, I think there are a lot of people doing. There you go. All right. Okay. So we will come back to it later. So we're going to come back to it later. Let's go on to our next section that we have in here, and we have done the sector analysis. Let's go on to the next section that we have is no other than the US market. But before that, let me just review. So which sector do you all like? Some of you just type in 1 or 4 or 1, depending on your choice. Okay, there are many choices inside there. So make sure you check it out in there. And for this hot sector, do use it and let me know what your feedback. So in summary, okay, in summary for tonight, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to wait now or for the pre-GE15, or do you want to invest now? Just type it in there. Those of you who are with me tonight, right now, just type in there. Do you want to invest? And if you want to invest, if you want to wait, I'm going to give you my 5 takeaway points. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll just get a sip of water. Type it in there. Do you want to invest now or you want to wait? Or some of you are already in the market. All right, let me know. Okay, just type it in there. And I think invest. Great. You guys got the right answer. That's right. So you want to wait. So here's my take. My first take is going to be, number 1, be prepared for a market boom. All right, because I am on the assumption we invest now, which many of you are agreeing. So be prepared with a plan. Now, remember the pre-GE15, 3 out of 3 times market go higher. So based on what you all still have, 10%, 8%, 20%, 10% from today, if you are going on the premise, let's say 10%, very modest 10%, 1600, then you are doing a projection of 17160. But remember, the MIDF research, they are projecting 1700 by year end. So you guys are already a very, very smart investor, right? Already smart. Great, great. Some already in the money. And if you are in the money, continue to hold it. Those that are not performing in there, do take note and, exit if you need to. I think that's important too. And do your house cleaning. So number one. So number two, follow the smart money trail. Learn how to read charts. Okay, learn how to read charts. Every time, as I said before, this is important because if you don't know how to read charts, you always fall. And now the latest feature, our hot sectors, and those of you who in our trade VSA package, we have an even better one, which I'm going to share with you later on, that you can see more visibility going by the 1 month and 2 month and 3 month, and be a lot more for that one. And third one, does the stock benefit from the new market boom? The mega trends that we talk about in here, that we saw great tech started to move out. The technology are benefiting from the post-COVID pandemic. We are seeing people are buying more handphones. And even just now, 10 minutes ago, Samsung reported the best quarter, 40% up in its first quarter 2021. And that is due to the more handphone being sold. Okay, number 4, have a weekly watch list. What to buy. And those of you who are using our masterclass, use the NS screener. Very, very powerful, very high win rates, and something we're going to showcase to you on weekend. And definitely we have our 3-day masterclass, which is happening tonight. And also, always try to trade with the market and not against the market. So right now, example, we saw the rubber glove coming down, building a nice base. We have a green Pentagon in here. If it doesn't break lower, if it break lower, we out. But if it start to move back up, that's where you want to be in. So these are the five summary that I want to share with you in here. Of course, that's what we'll be teaching also in our masterclass in this April intake. Our coaches in here are busy preparing in here. But what more importantly is, we said before, when you do it with us together, I think you participate in our group meetings, right? And I will dedicate a lot of my time, or my coach time, to training of our members. And again, this is a public event, so we want to showcase to you what you are missing out in our. Now also, Henry Ford always said, never stop learning. Remember, the more you learn, the better. All right. So this coming weekend, definitely, we still have some seats left. Those of you who wanted, we have a few people coming in here, the latecomers, because you're still sitting in advance, not too sure. We have installment payment in here for this weekend. Do join us. And how you want to purchase it on our SmartRobie apps. There is a plan and pricing. You can click on that one, or there is a number here. You can call. There's some more information in the comment. You can find out more about it. All right, we're doing a lot of Zoom session in here. If not, join us next week. No, this is on the 17th of April for our SmartRobie workshop, a new workshop that we are doing with all the new features and how we'll be looking at different sectors and teaching you the fixed method that we are talking about, that making us very good money. And those of you who wanted to be coaches, masterclass is something that you want to consider in here on the 17th in here. And this is the growth screener on our masterclass, and our growth screener, very powerful to use to help us to screen for those very good growth shares. And also, not to forget how we are able to find the shares on the US market. Remember last week when we do our live trading, Coach Arif was with us and he found a very good share, and I'm going to share with you later on the NASDAQ market. Definitely that is the Trade VSA sector screener for the US market, something that is good for you in here. Now, Tom already said, to be an effective trader, understand supply and demand, just like what we did, understanding the supply and demand for our the foreign fund flows, right? And we understand the supply and demand also for the housing data, which is coming from US. Then you will interpret it, and knowing that will be an advantage. So right now, the information that I just presented, you already know the pre-GE15. If it does come, you will have a very, very nice boom. All right. So if you're happy what we are saying, give me another thumbs up in here. We want to make this very, very information, educational, so you can have a lot of great takeaway value to that too. All right. Now, for the free US accounts opening in here, Right now we have this support line here. This is a number, and we have a couple of options available in here. Upon successful opening of the US account, you will get 1,000 free credit points. So this is the number 018-661-9761, and check it out in here, because we really encourage the public and some of our masterclass member. We find that, hey, you want to doing this trading and we want to continue to do that. Okay, this is the screen to review us. So right now we will be doing our US in here, but take a minute or two. Let's take about a minute. If you have not reviewed us for the good work that we've done today in here, do go over to Google review there on that QR code and give us a review in here, because right now we're going to be looking at the US market now. So we're doing to basically look at the one of the trades that we did. I'm going to show you some of the platforms in here, and to do that. All right, so let's take about maybe 10 seconds in here, and we're looking at the US market. All right. Okay, so we have, this is our US market. Okay, I'll just put it side by side, so those of you who want to review us, go ahead and review. So you can see right now we have this real-time data. Some of you may have seen it already on this top here. You'll know which broker we are talking about in here. All right, I think some of you may already have some questions. Of course, our masterclass members, you already know about this thing in here. So Apple is up this morning, and we got Canadian Solar. Yesterday was down, today was up. Very, very volatile in here. Now the stock we were talking about is actually this. That's right. Now last week we bought Zaber. Now who is Zaber? Have you heard of this company called Zaber? Zaber is online travel. Remember when we bought this stock, this is listed on NASDAQ, and we bought it on a no supply. There was no supply in here. You can see that was the B. All right, you can see, let me just push this in here. So we bought that on B, 68 shares at 14.75. We are in the money. This morning is up. So what we're going to do is actually, we can see that the old high profit, 1670, 1680, 1690. So this could be a profit target at the old high. All right, so let me just zoom it in here. You can see, yeah, right, you can have, yeah, that's right. So we bought it at here. Then we could sell it off. Of course, I want to sell it a bit higher tonight, probably at $16. So I'm going to pack to sell at $16 in here. And the cost of the commission, it's very, very low, to be frank with you. It's much, much lower than you think in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell here. All right, you can see sell. I'm going to put $16. About $16 in here. And how many units? 68 units. Am I correct? See how much did I buy? Yeah, about 68 units. So I'm going to put good to cancel. Okay, and hit that one. Okay, so I'm just going to enter my code. All right, confirm. That's it, done. All right, so I'm going to check my order. Is it filled? It's pending. Okay, so you can see selling Zaber here. Let me just stretch this a bit. Open up. Okay, open up in here. I'm already in the money earlier on, so if it's filled, I can show you it was filled at 14.75 at that time, and we are in the money about 5%. So 5%, it's only a 1,000 US dollar trade, so about $50 US, which is not too bad, $200, right? And you pay a very, very small commission. And those of you who are interested to open up an account, we have the number in there, and we'll be happy to guide you. Those of you who want to, of course, this will be on a very, what we call educational training that we intend to do with you in here. So we put in the order, and if it does hit at $16, we get in, we're going to make somewhere between 8%. And we only went in how many days? You can see this, right? We bought it on 31st of March, last Wednesday, right? And 4 days, so simple. So the whole point is to get a screener, right? You get a screener, and those of you okay, NASDAQ is up. Let's look at some of my watches that I have inside here. So I do think that a good chance Zaber will actually go higher because of the resumption of the market due to the travel. This is a travel airline booking. Okay, so if it does hit $16 should be fine. I'm not that picky about it. I just want to close the trade, make a small profit, and go on and looking at other shares. All right, so this is how we want to do it. So it's quite simple. So this will conclude the trade that I've done. So Let me just flash it to in here. And also one of the great features, if you look at this, what they do, just want to share with you in here. I'm going to key in Tesla. Okay, this is Tesla. Okay, so you can see Tesla chart is also in here. You can see material and you can see chart here. So material is good. Why I like about it, you can see is the shareholder. So you can know about the smart money in here. You can look at here, see Elon Musk is the biggest shareholder. He holds about 17%. And then his brother in here, I believe somewhere down here, Kimball Musk. I saw him last week, and you can see some of all these big institutional. So if you want to look at Apple, you want to look at some of the other companies like Amazon, you can actually see the shareholder in here, how big, and of course you can see traditional fund managers are holding about 40% of this company in here. There's a lot of information. You can look at summary, you can look at the PE, you can look at the financials. All this, all right, can be done. If you want to get that number, you can open it, and the account usually takes very fast, almost within a day or two. The key thing is only getting your verification and your detail in there. So if you're interested, just go over that number and type it in. So when you have this, you can trade along with me. That will be great. All right. So that completes the part of it. Don't forget to review me again on our Google, because we really want to help you guys get started in here, and so you have more chance to do that, all right, on the US market in here. All right, so I'm just going to end here, and I'm giving you a conclusion. So I'll take some question and answer. If you have any questions for me in here, I'll be happy to answer them. Right, with regards to the market, invest now, what are the shares that we're talking about here? All right. And for those of you who want to go off, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for your support in here, and some of you who have some questions that you want to ask, I will stay behind and answer some questions that you have. Okay, if I don't see any more questions in the next 1 or 2 minutes, I will close the session in here. Can you tell me example of GE counter? Oh, when they announce, we will talk about it in here. But usually those GE counters are infrastructures. They are usually under the constructions. Okay, check out the construction, because construction is also inside there. Okay, but we will get to the specific as once they start to announce the GE. We're going to be doing another session. We'll probably identify all the counter. But if you're on longer term, try to look at the trend, Amil. Okay, I won't be reviewing any stocks tonight. Okay, won't be reviewing any stocks tonight, because we keep that for the breakfast show. More in overall generic. Chin, you're talking about VPN. There's a couple of VPN. You can ask Coach Arif. He can point you at the right direction there. Will Tiger Trade have chart on their mobile apps? Yes. The question is yes. All right. I have it on my mobile app, so I just can't bring it into in here. Maybe another time. But the one on the screen one is quite easy to do, and the commissions are very reasonable in there. Malaysia Telco block Tiger Trade. No, actually you can. The question was Malaysia broker block Tiger Trade. No, actually U-Mobile and DG, you can access it. It's just that the Unify, they have it in here, so we recommend to use VPN. The number for Tiger broker opening, yes. Okay, we're just going to go back to here. Now we'll give you the options. Actually, we won't say it is Tiger or not. I'm using Tiger. It may not be Tiger. So the person over here, support line, will put you in the right one, whether you open it with a local broker house or you open up with an overseas company in here. We are not specifically talking about what I've just said there. All right. So that's the number that we have. And for those of you who have questions, if you have any questions about our 3-day masterclass, do pencil in there. I think do pencil in there for our masterclass if you have any masterclass questions. All right. If you are still considering about our masterclass, The information is down there, and we still have seats available here, right? That will put you in the right position. Definitely more. The US SmartRobie, we are planning early will be May. All right, take note of it. May 2021. We are looking to launch it, pre-launching. Okay, May. Okay, Elliott wave don't work. They're idiot wave, if you ask me. Okay, Elliott wave is the I don't believe in Elliott wave. It's idiot wave. Okay, masterclass got installment payment. Yes, we have installment payment. Miss Cheng, do contact the number below there, and my guy will able to point you to the right installment if you are looking for that one. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of theory people use in all this. If they are not based on price and volume, they are not based on back testing, it's very hard to say. That's one of the big problems with technical analysis. I find it that there are a lot of seafood in here they haven't really back tested. So the question I asked them, if you use this moving average, what is a percentage of winning? What is a percentage of losing? They cannot tell you. Because in the same way too, Elliott wave, can you backtest it? So just like what we have said before, our portfolio strategy based on price and volume, we know the percentage, how much you will win, how much you will lose, and that's what we find our methodology tends to work better. It always go back to scientific data. Yeah, if you don't have data, just like the COVID, how are you going to arrest it? You cannot simply tembak sini, tembak sana, kan? Amil, betul kan? So the people who talk about Elliott wave, get them to talk about the win rates. Why do you say this? Okay, there's a lot of what I also say, a lot of false seafood out there, so make sure you follow the right one too. All right, I'm not saying that they are genuine or not, but you must always ask the right question. What is the win rate? It's important in there. Okay, because I want to make sure you all know how to ask the right question, right? Just like you're going to buy any investment, right? They say worst case I would lose is how much. Don't be so buta lah. Right? And sometimes when people lose money, which I've seen a lot in cryptocurrency in Singapore, it's not that they are not, how do I say, they are not intelligent enough. It's just sometimes they get carried away by greed. You know, always watch your emotion, especially the greed side. Okay. All right. So, okay, those of you who are really interested in our masterclass or planning to come this weekend, do text our comment in here. And if you have any question, right, I'll be with you on Friday night for our masterclass member in here. I won't be, my next show will be on Friday, the breakfast show. There won't be any breakfast show on Monday because I'll be doing the live trading on the futures market for our Malaysian side here, just like I did one just now. For the US market, we generally trade the end of day data. So once we place a trade, we go and sleep. You know, after 1 week, we come back, we make 6%, 8%, something like that. All right, because the trend is up, so we want to capitalize on that one. So as we run our trades, we're getting more screener in here. We want to put it. So we actually have a process to do it, just like you saw our portfolio strategy, how we made 10% and similar. This is just one trade in here. All right, very quick one to show how I'm doing it here. Okay, don't forget, if you can, really appreciate, right, our QR code we have here. Do review us on the SmartRobie over there in here. And many thanks. And I'll see you on Friday for our breakfast show. So thank you again and bye-bye. Good night. So may you have a better understanding of the market and have confidence to invest and build a good future for yourself and your family. Thank you again. Bye-bye.